Story time on how my mom pissed me off, so I slept with my dad. Okay, so boom, let's jump right into it. My mom's 26, my dad's 36, and I'm 13. And yes, she had me at 13 years old. To be quite frank, my mom is a very jealous woman, specifically jealous of me. You see, I'm quite popular in school, I get lots of attention and I love it. But every time I go home, my mom wants me to do chores like wash the dishes, clean the yard, and vacuum the carpets. I hate when she does this because why should I have to clean this stuff? This not my house, I was just born in it. But she wants to, quote, instill good ethics in me, whatever that means. But the kicker is every time my dad's home, I get anything I want. Any food I want to eat, any gift I want, and he even gets me out of chores sometimes. If you ask me, my mom's jealous of our bond. Because sometimes when she sees me sitting on my dad hugging him, she would at those moments tell me to do chores. And unfortunately for her, one day it worked. I was sitting on my dad watching a Netflix movie and eating good. Here comes my mom coming home from work telling me to go do the dishes because it's full. This got me so mad. Why do I have to do chores? And that's when my plan started. I was going to sleep with my dad to get back at my jealous mom. My mom came back from work and told me to do chores. I told her no, I'm watching a movie with dad, hoping my dad would back me up. But he said, go ahead, sweetheart, I'll pause it till you're done. This got me so mad. Why do I have to do chores? And that's when my plan started. I was going to sleep with my dad to get back at my jealous mom. So the next day I got back from school and my dad was home. We have about 3 hours together before my mom gets home from work. I was going to make sure I get my dad in bed. He was sleeping once I came back home from school, so I went and took a quick shower and I joined him. I laid beside him and it woke him up. Then my dad asked me what was I doing. No words needed. I kissed him and he me back, and it happened. Yes, it happened. How's that to that jealous woman? That day we didn't get caught and I felt good because my mom deserved it, don't you think? Story time on how I put a camera in my best friend's bathroom and found her doing the with my senior citizen dad. Okay, so boom, let's jump right into it. So I'm 14 years old and very much gay, or lesbian rather. I have a huge crush on my best friend who's 16 years old and I'm fascinated by her. She's just the best. I haven't come out yet, so no one knows, but I'm planning on coming out soon and expressing my love to my best friend shortly after. We also change in front of each other, so we're already quite comfy. Well, I saw a video on TikTok that made me buy a cute little bear, and I gave the bear to my best friend. The bear ended up having cameras in it, and I swear I didn't know. Maybe I did. Anyways, I logged into the camera and my best friend had put it in her bathroom. So occasionally I would just watch her brushing her teeth, doing her hair, cleaning up in general. But anytime she showered, I swear I wouldn't look. Yeah, it's a little creepy, but no harm if I don't watch her change, right? Anyways, a week into me watching, one day I called her and she didn't answer. My parents were at work and I was home alone, bored. And since she didn't answer, I decided to just check the cameras to see what she was doing. But this particular time when I looked at the camera, I didn't have to wait because she was already in the bathroom. There's no sound on the video, but I could tell she was laughing and talking to someone. I thought, oh, she must have made up with her ex, and I got a little jealous. But then quickly to my surprise, I found out that wasn't the case at all. A man ran into the bathroom after her, picked her up on the wall, and they started making out. Then he carried her back into the room. I can only imagine what then went on in that room. Well, that man was my 56-year-old dad. I dropped my laptop and my jaws dropped. I was just shocked. Lost for words. My 56-year-old dad is cheating on my 36-year-old mom with my 16-year-old best friend who I stalked with a hidden camera in her back. So I can't really even say anything, right? I don't know. What should I do?
Am I wrong for bringing my fiancé to my daughter's wedding? I, 52 male, have a daughter, B, 23 female, who got married last week to her wife, E, 24 female. They had been dating just under a year and decided to have the intimate wedding with me and about 20 other guests. B does not get along with my fiance, M, 29 female. B has no contact at all with M, and she refuses to come to our house and has been quite low contact with me for the last year or so because of an argument she had with M. As expected, B did not invite M to the wedding, but invited me as a guest. M said she did not mind if I went without her, which I thought was very gracious in the face of rudeness. However, we recently found out that M is a few weeks pregnant with our first child, and she has been anxious and having panic attacks all the way through her pregnancy. The morning of the wedding, I found M crying on the sofa and literally shaking. I asked what was wrong, and she said she felt very panicky and unsafe alone. I offered to stay home since she was so ill and I was worried about her, but she insisted I go to the wedding. I was too concerned to go without her, so I messaged E, informed her of the situation that M would be coming with me in case she had a medical emergency while I was away. E did not respond until we were already dressed up and halfway to the venue. E told us that M was not to set foot at the wedding, but at the point I had no other option and I wanted to be there for B. It did not go well. B did not speak to me the whole way through the wedding and kept giving ugly looks to M. At the reception, there obviously wasn't a place set for M and an extra chair had to be squeezed in. But I cut some food and fed her off my own plate, so I did not think it was a big deal. E came to me after dinner and said that B was not doing a father-daughter dance with me and gave me a list of complaints. She said she was disgusted by M's dress because it was red, and that M was wrong to introduce herself as my stepmother to B, and that M should not have mentioned her pregnancy at all. M only mentioned her pregnancy because she was offered a little cake, and cake makes her sick because of the pregnancy hormones. E told us to leave after dinner, and I agreed, so I did not upset B. I don't like why is the daughter communicating through her wife to her dad. Like, if you want to say something, go talk to him yourself. I don't like that. It's so mature. However, when M stood up, her stomach cramped and she fell over. It only made a tiny scene, but I rushed her out and we sat in another room for 20 minutes until she felt better. E's mother came in at that point while I was just calming M down and made us get out. Since then, E and M's maternal family have been sending me angry messages about how rude we were, and E has told me that they want no contact for the foreseeable future. I really meant well and I just wanted to make everyone happy, but am I the asshole? I faked proof that I had a flat tire so that the lazy people in my group project would have to do the presentation themselves, therefore likely fail. I'm in a class where a group research project/presentation is a huge chunk of overall points. Everyone knows in group projects, you always have that one slacker who doesn't do anything that you would have to compensate for. I got stuck with possibly the worst 3 people to be in a project with in the class. I did the entire research, presentation, poster board, etc. among many other annoying things myself. I tried talking to them and telling them that they needed to put in their share of effort. Ignored. I'd send them tasks to do. Ignored. I tried to schedule meetings. They say they were coming and then leave me alone in the library. This happened from the get-go. It was abundantly clear that they expected everyone else to do the work, but everyone else turned out to just be me. Rule: we couldn't have things 100% memorized word for word, and we couldn't read off anything. We had to actually know the subject. I was fully prepared to do most of the talking and even wrote down a small script for them and told them to know what to say during their part at the very least. The night before, I told them we had to meet to at least go over the whole thing one time. Once again, none of them showed. At this point, I'm livid and I decided that they can just do it themselves, which means they'd get up there, not know a damn thing to say other than the small info I gave them, and couldn't even bullshit anything because they did no research. Thing is, if we miss without an excuse, we fail the project. If you have an excuse, you have to have documentation. I commute and live an hour away, so I decide that I'll conveniently have a flat tire right before class. Went out and actually bought a tire so I could have the receipt to prove it. Emailed the professor who said I can present by myself during his office hours. Turns out they completely bombed and not only probably failed the project, but since they're bad students, might even make them fail the class. The professor stated at the beginning that we were not allowed to contact him about people slacking in the group and said to work it out amongst ourselves. He said that we were adults and that he wouldn't even respond to emails about it. My boyfriend lied about my ring and now I can't trust him. For Christmas, my boyfriend of 3 years bought me a gorgeous ring, not an engagement ring. He told me in great detail about how he purchased the loose diamonds from a local jeweler recommended to him by a friend that gets them in Amsterdam and had it custom made for me in platinum. I genuinely loved the ring, but I thought the diamonds were suspiciously large and odd that it was stamped 925, which represents sterling silver, when he told me it was mounted in platinum. I did a little research and found out that it was a $1,200 moissanite ring in platinum over sterling, which I own a few pieces and he knows I love. He has done a lot of research on jewelry, so I'm certain he was not tricked. I am not a materialistic person at all, and he could have gotten me a ring from Walmart and I would have loved it because I attach sentimental value to gifts. He knows that. My problem is that if he would lie about something so trivial, what else would he lie to me about? I honestly can't even wear the ring because every time I look at it, I think about how he broke my trust and it makes me want to cry. Part of me feels like I shouldn't even bring it up since the ring still costs over $1,000, but I'm still just heartbroken since I always felt like he was a trustworthy person. Would you even bring it up? If so, how should I talk to him about this without sounding like a spoiled brat?